Alright, guys, we are reviewing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 14, Boom Studios. So let's get into it, guys. This continues, obviously, from issue 13 and where that left off. And so, right off the bat, Rita and Finster continue manipulating Alpha's voice, guiding the Rangers to find his location, and the Rangers seem to have hope as this would enable them to gain control of the Zords. After following Alpha's voice, the Rangers are led into a trap filled with Goldars, literally. The comic switches over to the alternate timeline where Billy and Tommy are, and now they are about to engage in a full-out war. The Coinless Resistance versus Lord Draken's army. The Coinless have something Lord Draken wants. They have been hiding it for years, which is the Triceratops Power Coin / Morpher, known as the Relic. We'll talk more about that here soon. Switching back over to the original Angel Grove, the Rangers are dueling with the army of Goldars and confused by Alpha leading them into a trap. In this fight, the clone Goldars just keep coming by the numbers and are quite larger in size and only focus on destruction. The Rangers almost find a way to escape, only to realize that they need to call the Zords immediately, as the clone Goldars are now in giant form as well. Switching back over to alternate Angel Grove, we see the Mastodon Sentry and Scorpina as well gearing up to attack the Coinless Resistance. So the war is about to continue, as this comic, obviously, like I said, continues right in the moment where we left off in the previous issue, where, Lord Draken's army was aware of, the Coinless Resistance and, where they were being stationed, and so they were flying out in that previous issue to kind of engage in a war, and that's what's happening now. We then see Tommy traveling with Saba and Aisha and a few others behind as Tommy has a plan of attack in mind. Saba has led Tommy back to the Falcon Zord, and he is ready to do some hunting. That's literally what Tommy says, ready to do some hunting, as, he takes to the sky with the Falcon Zord. Continuing, Trini and Billy are conversing about a strategy to fix the hole in the shield, keeping enemies out. And Trini now explains that the Relic is the Triceratops Morpher and Power Coin. So the Relic is what Lord Draken is after, and which is the Triceratops Power Coin. Trini explains that the alternate Angel Grove's Billy survived long enough during the fall of the Rangers to get her to safety and to store away the coin. Now, we can only imagine if Lord Draken gets a hold of the coin, his army of evil Rangers will be complete, or whatever it is he plans on doing. Back to the original Angel Grove, the Rangers are inside the Zords fighting off the massive army of Goldars. Trini gets hit hard, and her saber-toothed tiger Zord even takes damage as she is knocked out of the Zord and kidnapped by one of the Goldars. So, it gets crazy. There is fights happening everywhere. There is war happening everywhere, and it is pretty massive. Back to the alternate Angel Grove, Tommy is in the Falcon Zord, firing at Lord Draken's army, and then we see the Pterodactyl female Rangers gearing up to attack as well. And I just have to say, man, they look pretty darn awesome. These, the Mastodon Sentry and all these other evil Rangers who are part of Lord Draken's army, the costuming and their look is just pretty darn awesome. So, this is a little sidetrack, but I go to a lot of cons and, cosplay events. So I really hope to see some other Power Ranger folks and fans bring that cosplay to life, because that is freaking awesome. I love the way it looks. So, anywho, I just had to take a quick note on that because I absolutely love their look. Then it flashes over to Tommy in the Falcon Zord, and Lord Draken has jumped on top of the Falcon Zord, entering inside and causing massive damage, making the Zord fall down. It falls down to the ground, and Tommy is now weakened and at the foot of Lord Draken once again. Flashing over to original Angel Grove, the Yellow Ranger Trini has now been captured and is in the guard of Rita Repulsa. I'm not sure what Rita is up to, but it definitely seems that she will be using Trini for something down the road, as she has her in her possession, and she says some interesting things if you kind of read on that page. So it seems like Rita definitely has a plan, and particularly with Trini. So we'll figure out what that is as we continue to read on. Back to alternate Angel Grove, Lord Draken calls the coinless resistance to surrender and hand over the relic, which we learned is the Triceratops power coin and Morphin. Lord Draken is now positioned to behead Tommy Oliver and honestly thinks nothing of his alternate self. Like, he wants nothing to do with Tommy, thinks less of him. And in this scene, the intensity almost reminded me of the Walking Dead episode where Negan bashes people's heads like a watermelon. But come on, it's Power Rangers, and it's Tommy Oliver that we're talking about, so it's not going to get that dark, but it's definitely in a position to really kind of head that way, where Lord Draken, he is ready to kill everyone to get what he wants, to get what he needs, and who knows exactly what his mission and plan is. Trini encourages Billy right in this moment to use the Triceratops Morpher and morph into the Blue Ranger to challenge Lord Draken. But Billy, he's honestly kind of hesitant about the idea. And as Tommy Oliver's life is on the line, Billy and Trini, right in that moment, they step forward and retreat. They put their hands in the air. Or is this a diversion by the coinless resistance on their side? I don't know. It was a little bit of a twist to that ending to this issue, because, you know, Billy has the morpher and the coin and could definitely use that power somehow to challenge Lord Draken, but I'm sure just in Billy's mind, even after watching the Power Rangers movie, he's probably like analyzing, so many different alternative things that could happen. Like, okay, Lord Draken, he's already killed all the other Rangers. I'm just one Ranger who could morph. Plus, he's got the Mastodon Sentry and all these other armies of Rangers. So, what would my morphing actually do in this moment to challenge him? So, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the next issue. But I can only imagine that they've probably got some strategy planned, or who knows what's going to happen. We'll see. But yes, this comic, this series definitely has more of that mature and dark tone to it, and I love that that we are able to get something. I've said this before in multiple reviews that I've done, but it's cool to have something familiar but yet refreshing, and that's what we get with these Boom Studios comics. I love them. I love every issue. It is fantastic. Very fantastic read. So if you have not picked up this issue, make sure to do so. And if you already have it, this is the recap. So, yeah, done deal on that. Another thing I wanted to point out before, and I just want to touch on it in this particular issue, is where the heck is Rita Repulsa in the alternate Angel Grove? Now, maybe she's just so big and massive that she doesn't need to be around in Angel Grove anymore, and she's like, I am ruling the world and taking over other dimensions or whatever. And I don't know if there's something that I may have missed, but she doesn't seem to be present, so it makes me question what's up with Lord Draken. Like, did he overtake Rita Repulsa, or are they romantically involved? I don't know. What do you guys think? Post your comments and your questions on this video, because that's something that has kind of been pondering in my mind is, okay, where's Rita Repulsa in the midst of all of this? And since she was successful in this world, does that mean that Lord Zed was never needed, as we seen in the original series? So I don't know. There's a lot of questions that I have behind that piece and kind of her absence, because we really haven't seen her in this alternate universe. But I'm just wondering what the relationship is like between her and Lord Draken. So yeah, if you guys have comments or questions or any knowledge about that, post on this video and let me know. Always at the end of these comics, there's usually kind of that comic relief. So in this one, we have the Adventures of Bablu and Squat continuing with the previous issue, so you get that as well, which is another additional piece to the comic. There was no picture at the end of this. Sometimes they would do that where they show you kind of the next chapter, but that wasn't seen in this one, so we just have to continue to wait. But nonetheless, we know that it's going to pick up and pick up quick for sure when we get to issue 15, where I'm sure we'll see more of what's happening in this war. And honestly, it's just crazy on both sides if you think about it, because in the alternate Angel Grove, you have the coinless resistance who are fighting off Lord Draken and his army, and then in the original Angel Grove, you have the Rangers, who are morphed and they have that green, texture because of, Tommy's power coin, and they're like deceived basically. The Zordon is missing, Alpha is missing. They're fighting off an army of Goldars. So no matter what angle that you look at, there is war and battles and craziness happening everywhere. And the ending result and the conclusion of it all, I'm sure, is going to be crazy and massive. So I can't wait to see how this is going to continue, and more so how it's going to unravel, and to learn a little bit more too about Lord Draken. So yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that bell to get future notifications of my videos. And once again, guys, if you are new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe to stay in touch, to support my channel, and to get awesome content like today. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and I will see you again here soon with issue 15. So wham, bam, boom.